going on, Jerome's? Beautiful Friday. Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. So, the Indiana Pacers tied up the NBA Finals 3-3, and this would have been the clinching game if the NBA and Scott Foster didn't cheat the Pacers out of Game 4. Not saying, I'm just saying. So, all of the marbles wins Game 7, like 3 weeks from now. That's how they've been spacing out these games. Yeah. But you know that the NBA was never going to give up a shot at a Game 7, so they get the paycheck. Pacers, one time, please deliver us from evil. And the reason why the Pacers did the damn thing Game 6, because Justin freaking Jefferson, all he does is win, no matter what. It's good to see. Or, I don't know if Jefferson actually came in for the game. Like, maybe he was just exploring the sights of Indianapolis. Like, hey, I was in the combine here. I did great. St. Elmo Steakhouse. Hey, some scenes from Parks and Rec were shot here. Or something like that. Or Jefferson to the Colts, question mark? Nah. Some of that is, I have no transition. But fantasy football season is nearly among us. And I'm sort of weird when it comes to fantasy football. Like, I'll obviously draft Vikings, maybe a little bit too much. But sometimes I will pick up or I will start whoever is playing the Vikings as like an emotional hedge, right? And also you can hit a middle. You can have a twofer there where the Vikings win, but also your fantasy guy does well, mainly in garbage time. But for the Vikings, so I actually think that J.J. McCarthy is going to have some sneaky value, especially given his mobility as well as being at the helm of a great offense, but beside the point. Running backs, it's going to be a little bit more interesting with Aaron Jones as well as with Jordan Mason. Now, Jones in a PPR is solid, but also I think that Mason is going to eat into his goal line work. And also the Vikings haven't been very efficient in goal line rushing over the last 3 seasons under Kevin O'Connell, but with that revamped interior offensive line, I think they could be good to go. And frankly, I know the PFF has Jones ranked in Tier 4, RB2 territory at number, 24? Then Jordan Mason is Tier 6, backups with a path to with the path to snaps. I think given Jones's health issues, well, Mason's had health issues too, but I would actually, if you draft both of them, it's going to be a quandary, like until things get ironed out, right? Because I do think it will be a legitimate timeshare. I don't think that it's just lip service. I don't think it will be a situation like last year where Kevin O'Connell just like, it's going to be a timeshare. Then Aaron Jones is just literally the bell cow. But I think that Mason's going to have value. I think Jones will have value in PPR. But I don't know. I don't know if I want a part of it. I kind of do, obviously, because I'm biased as a Vikings fan. Plus, this is how uneducated I am in fantasy. I kind of like when players have an early bye because then you don't have to rotate through later on, like when everyone else is on bye. So that's one advantage. Again, I'm really stupid when it comes to fantasy football. I like the early bye. Sometimes I'll just start a player if it's close of a decision between a couple players if they play on Thursday night, Monday night, or Sunday night, just so I can have a little sweat in prime time, as well as, I'll always, all right, so if the other team doesn't have anyone going to Monday Night Football, I'll just have like, I don't know, Jacoby Myers. Like, hey, if Jacoby Myers in PPR scores 75 points, I win. It's kind of great. It's always good to have hope. Keep hope alive. Speaking of hope, slinging Sammy Darnold, a.k.a. America's quarterback, or what was it, God King quarterback of the United States, Quibus, something like that. But Darnold gave the Vikings some hope last year until the end. Week 18 against the Lions. I don't think that people get mad enough about that Lions game because the Lions defense was banged up. And remember, Alex Anzalone, that was the big return. All of a sudden, he comes back. He's the second coming of Dick Butkus. That's not code. Then, of course, the Rams game. Cam Robinson gave up 12 pressures. It just wasn't good, right? But the Lions game, people should get more pissed off about because that could have been the 1 seed. And Darnold left so many points on the board. Because remember, the Vikings had, 4 trips inside the red zone, came away with 0 points? Something like that along those lines because I don't know if it was mechanics. I don't know if it was eyes. I don't know if it was jitters. I don't know if it was his pinky. I don't know what it was. But Darnold was just straight up bad. And he took ownership of that. Talking to Mike Silver of The Athletic. For lack of a better term, we laid an egg as an offense. We Darnold said in an interview with The Athletic following a minicamp practice last week, and I think for me personally, that sucks. I felt like we were a really good team, but at the end of the day, as this is going to sound a little pessimistic, but when you get to the end of it and you don't win the whole thing, you failed. I feel like I could have played way better, to be completely honest with you. I feel I didn't play up to my standard. I truly feel that way. I feel like I would have, if I would just play better, I would have been able to give the team a chance, yes. So, I mean, yeah, not piling on him, and also, obviously, the blame isn't solely on him, but we needed that Pro Bowl adjacent, that MVP, getting fifth place MVP votes, Sam Darnold, the last two games, because there could have been more games, but there wasn't. So, just sort of is what it is. 'Tis the life of a Vikings fan. That's what we do. Speaking of our quarterback, so this was circulating around the Twitter sphere. I don't know if it's true. Right, so something called Click, NFLPA royalty leaders. So name, image, likeness, marketing, sponsorships, all that stuff. J.J. McCarthy clocking in at just north of $4 million, and then Kelsey, Herbert, Peyton Manning thing. So first off, Peyton Manning isn't part of the NFLPA anymore. But McCaffrey, Mahomes, Jefferson, Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence. So I know this is false because Jefferson getting slightly more than Brock Purdy. Nah. Or who's champing at the bit for some Trevor Lawrence name, image, likeness, huh? Unless it's like for a hair product, just that you so glow. But like I said, obviously if it's on the internet, it's true. But also, I don't know where the royalties would come from. Like, what commercial has J.J. McCarthy been on? All right, so I don't actually believe this for a second, but just give it a year and maybe it'll be true. Because guess what? After J.J. McCarthy wins the Super Bowl in his first year as a starter, in his second year in the league, that's never happened to a Michigan quarterback ever before, winning a Super Bowl in his second season. Weird. But then, hey, McCarthy will be replacing Mahomes on the State Farm commercials. Kevin O'Connell will be replacing Andy Reid on those State Farm commercials as well. And Travis Kelce, you gone. Sit down. Actually, I would believe if Travis Kelce was number one. Because I feel like the Kelce... also, Jason Kelce should be on this list. If Peyton Manning's on this list, Jason Kelce should be on this list. Because I feel like the Kelces were in every single freaking commercial. And also, Mama Kelce... Was it Donna? Was it Donna? Yeah. She was on more commercials than the rest of his top 10 combined. That's what happens, man. Got to strike while the iron's hot. But I don't believe this list. But maybe someday. Yeah. Want to include one of our Q&A questions on the dump because this one's interesting to me. Imposter, what happens if a coach gets extended and is offered up a job as a head coach? Does the team take a hit or does the team get comp pick? So a couple parts of this. And there have been discussion that Flores is in a contract year and he may look to explore the market, but that isn't strictly because of a head coaching job, because the Vikings could extend Flores for 75,000 years and he could still leave tomorrow, or if you got a head coach, well, next offseason, if you got a head coaching job offer, no muss, no fuss, because teams can't block upward mobility moves, right? But it goes back to if he wants to be a DC somewhere else, he would have that freedom after after the season, but beside the point. But comp picks wise, so this is from the NFLPA website. In November 2020, team owners approved a proposal rewarding teams who developed minority talent that went on to become GMs or head coaches across the league. If a team lost a minority executive or coach to another team, that team would receive a third-round compensatory pick for 2 years. And also, that goes into effect immediately. So the first year of the 2 years of third-round comp picks, if Flores gets a head coach job next offseason, would be immediately in 2026. So the Vikings could end up with multiple third-round picks, which would be kind of great. If a team lost both a coach and personnel member, it would receive a third-round compensatory pick for 3 years. And for the executive, it's important to know because Demetrius Washington was just elevated to assistant to the general manager, same thing as Ryan Grigson. So he could potentially get a GM job since Kwesi and the analytics approach, and Washington is an analytics guy as well. I think that it's very possible that Washington could get a GM job, Flores could get a head coaching job, and the Vikings could get 3 years of third-round comp picks, right? So, interesting. Yeah. And also, it's weird to get comp picks for Flores since he was a head coach before, but we'll certainly take it. Yeah. Next. Yeah, so the story that was flying around social media yesterday, so Adrian Peterson TMZ Sports put out a video from a couple of months ago. Adrian and another gentleman decided to have a little fisticuffs action during a poker game. And as someone who has played poker with Adrian Peterson before, because Adrian used to come into Canterbury all the time, played like 15-30 with him back when they spread 15-30, and he had this huge dip in all the time. He didn't have a spit cup, so he was gutting it or just sort of gleeking all over the place, and he was so bad. And Adrian's been on a couple of I think he was on a Hustler Casino live stream. He's not good. So if there was an argument, I'm guessing Adrian had the worst hand and got lucky, but who really knows? So there was some hands being thrown. Both of them ate a couple shots. Like, Adrian is not a good fighter, as we saw from the Le'Veon Bell boxing match. But TMZ explained it, or Adrian actually explained it. Alcohol was involved, Peterson told us, though he insisted it was not the reason things turned violent. Quote, "Me and the guy were cool," Peterson said. "We've known each other. It was literally like a brother situation. We agreed to disagree. We had our words. We threw some blows, and that was that." So yeah, it does seem like everything got resolved. Police weren't even called, and both of them weren't even thrown out of the poker club that night. So I don't know, like, in a weird way, it's kind of nice that physical altercation like didn't go over the line, and both parties seem cool with each other afterwards. And sometimes you have that. Like, it's true. Like, we don't know who this guy is. Like maybe he and Adrian are actually good friends, and sometimes like good friends have disagreements, and sometimes there's some swings. But I mean, no weapons, no escalation, no police, no anything like that. They just sell. That's how they do in Texas, right? And I will say this. So Texas doesn't have any legalized gambling, but they do have these poker clubs where you pay a membership, and then you gamble in the club. I played in a couple of them, a couple in Austin, like the Lodge, Texas Card House. I played in the one in Dallas, and I think I played in one in Houston. Yeah, I definitely played in one in Houston. They don't feel the most secure, but also, how dumb are you to try and rob a poker room in Texas when you know that everyone's strapped? You know what I mean? So in many ways, like, I love the state of Texas. I think it's fantastic. Like, if my wife and I ever move the family, we've considered 3 locations: Austin, Texas, Vegas, or like Bellevue, Washington, which is a suburb of Seattle. I feel very safe in Texas. You know what I mean? It's odd. Except for the Scorpions. Rock me like a hurricane. Anyways, but yeah, Adrian getting his cards on. There you go. I have no transition for this. But I don't know why. Probably because I'm like 13 years old. This made me laugh so hard. And this is an old story. But the biggest discovered poo in history belonged to a sick Viking. Archaeologists could not believe their luck, or lack thereof, when they discovered the largest recorded coprolite fossilized human excrement under what would become a bank in England in 1972. And for reference, so this is a normal-sized female's hands. Normal size. On one hand, I don't think it's that big. And obviously, it's not the largest poop in history, right? Because that would have to be extraordinary luck. This is just the largest that was fossilized, right? And also, I think they mentioned belonged to a sick Viking. What do you eat? Was some of the cod bad? Did he have some? Did he have some lutefisk? Is that what's going on? Just ran straight through him, right? But also, I feel like if that was the case, I don't think it would be fossilized. Like, I'm guessing that this was a gentleman who was backed up for a long time. You know what I mean? And I know cheese and dairies was part of the Scandinavian diet. Maybe too much of that. A little too much queso. Because if you eat too much queso, I mean, it's like putting it's like putting a cover over Old Faithful. Know what I mean? But again, this is the largest fossilized. I don't think this is, personally, I think that's kind of normal. Like, if you've ever gone to Fogo de Chao or Bolvino's, and by the way, the salad bar of both places is amazing. That smoked salmon at Fogo, come on, son, come on. But I feel like we as Vikings fans could break this record. Like, is this a Guinness World Record? Could we do this? I mean, it would feel like childbirth, but I feel like we could do this. You know? Yeah. But the actual joke here is, the largest Viking turd in history? No. That is 38-7. That is it. Good times. Anyways. I don't know what we accomplished today. Doesn't matter. It's Friday. Enjoy your day, baby. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.